Welcome to Jumpgate, a major freak. So, there's, according to jumpgate.attacktry.org, there are 2 Soul Rain players online at the moment. And most people don't respond, especially Soul Rains. Yeah, biased. Okay, now I was talking last time about mechanics and the subjectivity and assumptions and stuff, and it's interesting because I see a lot of patterns that aren't there, and that can trap me. But I thought something interesting. It gives you an objectivity on EVE Online and the devs CCP than you'd otherwise get, and it's been 20 years, and that gives an objectivity all itself, quite a clarity actually. And when I was dealing with, well, I'll go out and show you, so let's explain. First of all, I'm going to set my destination for missions as Quantar Core Station when I log in. And I've already got a mission going. And don't have any cargo bag.
Charging weapons and defense systems. Please stand by.
And oh, they're not blued right now. Oh, cool. I wonder how long that takes. Never actually explored that. I think it's gradual. Or is it like a certain amount of time and it'll be 100% until it refreshes? It's an old game, so it could be that. Now, about mining. A lot of people would just go up to an asteroid, and once they're in range, they would just sit there. And after a while, I started to get bored and said, you know what, it'd be fun to orbit around an asteroid and just, so this is what I did. I got really good at just kind of defocusing on the asteroid and focusing instead on vector arrow and figuring out an angle on the asteroid. I think it was about there that I could hit the forward button and then quickly hit the spacebar, which I remapped to currently yesterday to spacebar, so I could remap J to jump. And it's that angle that I could hit forward and then spacebar, canceling my forward momentum. I mean, my forward acceleration, should I say. And have the asteroid be about close enough, and then I would only be going about 10 velocity. And what I discovered was that it was kind of weird, because I swear to God that I was mining faster when I was moving. Not the acceleration, but that my vector, I swore my vector was increasing my mining activity. And I talked about it on the forums a bit and speculated, and nobody believed me. And I haven't got to the rub yet. It's a completely different take 20 years ago. I didn't think about it then. But back then, the developers let it be known very shortly after. I started to convince a lot of people that moving around an asteroid increased your mining rate, like orbiting it. And very soon after, shockingly soon after, actually, because it was rare that devs actually said anything about the game and paid attention to anything but getting their e-beans sucked by the griefers, the elitist pricks, I would call them, in the help who would just hang in the help channel and be condescending to noobs, just so they could kiss dev ass when they showed up in help channel. So, and they appeared on the forums.
Transaction complete.
And announced very ambiguously that some sort of, that I was essentially correct, but they worded it so obliquely that people who didn't like me, and I was usually voted most annoying at any forum I ever lived in, inhabited, that those that had a bone to pick with me, or just basically dickbags, they glummed on the assumption, and it was never confirmed by the devs ever. It was just, they just made the wording so ambiguous that other people said, oh, it's where how quickly you move your laser across the asteroid. And I thought about that for a bit at the time, and my assumption was, no, it would be easier to code if you were moving, how quickly your ship was moving, than try to detect on a polygon of an asteroid where you were mining in order to detect how quickly you were mining. It just made more sense to go, how fast are you moving there? That'll increase, instead of trying to detect on the server where you were aiming. But it could have been like combat. I mean, but my thinking was, I think my way's simpler. And I just assumed that, no, they were wrong. But the wording was so ambiguous, and they never confirmed it either way, that I was like, oh, whatever. But people just decided it was how quickly you moved your laser. And I can test it. And I can definitely test the correctness of that now, by just timing how long it takes me orbiting it. And it's going to be difficult, because in order to test it, I would have to sit on one side of an asteroid and, as quickly as possible, try to exactly get all the spots that I can see on the polygon, versus tightly controlling my orbit such that I'm mining only the equator, say. Only a certain line around an asteroid. It'll be difficult. But I think it's entirely possible, once I get my cargo high enough, to time how long it takes. And of course I'll need a long enough asteroid mining so that I don't, because when I'm moving, it's very difficult. I'll have to be moving slow enough because if I'm moving slow enough, and if I do the other way, and I quickly, as fast as possible, aim for all the parts of the asteroid, I'll be able to detect whether it's your movement or that you're moving your laser across the asteroid. And it's currently in my thinking that I'm not as emotionally attached to my assumption back then. That's definitely possible to prove myself wrong, and it could be the case, but the devs never confirmed it. Now, because they're so damn ambiguous, and they only said it once, so it's interesting. And there's the rub. Wait a minute, what the? Oh, it was. God, last time I'd accidentally selected the radioactive metals mission. So yeah, and I don't think I can complete it with this amount.
Transaction complete.
No. So yeah.
Transaction complete.
And
Transaction
now protocol
complete.
and
Transaction
website.
complete.
I can look up the protocol information for Quantar. So Cal Passage, corridor, dark end, dark path, dark trail, stop, venture, hooked road, main gate, inner road path. There is a rad chip medium. Rad medium. There's one rad medium at 10:48.8. Is that the closest one? Yeah, we can find out. Alright. Check if I got my protocol. I do. Protocol and an amplifier. Duelist, that's what I got.
Purchase completed.
I think that was the faction mission, actually. Whoops. So almost level 5. I need to get level 6 for the breeze, and then I can get 8 cargo. So that'll be cool. So yeah, a couple, one more level, essentially.
Charging weapons and defense systems. Please stand by.
Darn, it's all rain mission. Alright, inner row cloud. Yeah, and it was always a treat. That's what I call EVE Online, a point and click, because if you went, a line to, you bump into the side of the station when you did that. But since you're launched like an EVE at velocity, when you aimed and accelerated aligned to the Stargate, your vector would slowly curve, right? So that's why I always loved Jumpgate. It just felt so organic and immersive, because this kind of thing is very immersive. Now then, how do I use the protocol? How do I use the protocol? I think it's a chat command. Rotacol. Sorry, I recall. At 10.7, 48.9, 0.8. Oops, 0.8. Now then. Oh crap. That's not good. I don't have any missiles to kill it with. It's probably a weak one, but I just don't have anything to kill it with. Oh. Why marks weak one in sector at? I have a protocol. I know I have it. have to do F1 instead, maybe? F1. Rotacal. 10.7. 8.9. 0.8. Do I need integers instead? Probably. 11. 49. 1. Oh, okay, so it does an automatic. Alright, okay. Alright, so I'm sure it'll be still there. Oh. I guess not. Alright. So. Oh, cool. Okay, so it does not forget the vertical. That's kind of cool. So, where the hell? Ah, there we go. Where is that? Let's see if I've got it. Like, that's at the... Give me a sec here. Okay, so that. Okay. Okay, if I had pylon, so I'd go select square of Quantus, get the pylon, look at the pylon and the pylon that way, and let's try to reverse engineer where I'd be aiming at. So to be directly down, so go to pylon, orientate it so that is there, right? To the east. Like so. Like so, I guess. Right? That's the east. And then you go directly down until you saw what? Until you saw those two asteroids. The Milky Way thing, then those two asteroids, then you go, then you'd head towards where your triangle would be there. Let's see if I can get out of this guy's way. I probably won't be able to. How fast is he going? There he is, right there. See him? Coming up astern. Doesn't... Like, I think you can actually get... I think you can actually get away from them. But I think they continually chase you regardless, so I've got to find a way of destroying it. Okay, so how far is it? So you keep going. So that's basically how I would do my star chart. Anyways, I digress. What were we talking about? The oh my god, cool. And I forgot I would also get I would also use the radar, and that's why I liked the hall monitor radar, because you could get an exact map and range that was perfect for describing what it looks like on the radar when you align correctly. Also, it's an also thing, not only the star map, but the radar, what the radar looks like when you've got it properly aligned, and then voila, here you are. And you go out, you would go out, keep going until you were 34,000 from Contra Station Jumpgate, and there your radioactive asteroid should be. And you could also, you know, yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think I can deal with this very well because it's going to kill me. I'll have to get some missiles and take care of it. Hopefully. Pretty sure I can. I wonder if it was in a row or... I swear it was. Which was the first I ever mapped? I'm pretty sure it was in a row. I'm pretty damn sure. It might be Quantum Crossing, but I'm pretty sure it's in a row. Almost 100%, because I remember it was towards the corridor, so yeah, totally. So yeah, that is essentially the Star Trek. Anyway, so I digress. The developers, and this is interesting because I was thinking about CCP2 naturally, because yeah, this game is so much fun. It's just so immersive. The 20-year-old game over at EVE Online, can you believe it? Yeah, and all their eye candy in the world can't hide the fact that they're trying to sex up their spreadsheets deliberately, and horribly so, and thinking it's better that way, and it defeats the argument that it's a spreadsheets and space game. God, and also that. And also that they're calling it, that they used the entire FanFest and used, just like toilet paper, the graphics department to lie for them, to say it was a it was I think it goes green when you're under 100, to lie for them and try to trick the audience into thinking that EVE is going to evolve instead of being seen as problems, and literally their quote, lol, right? Play a drinking game every time CCP Burger says problem. But it'll evolve into a living, organic, like, can you believe how organic and immersive this is? And of course, how living and organic it'd be when I hit the lip of the docking ring at at speed. A living, breathing, and you got to think, when you've got clarity and you go, they're using the living, breathing thing because they fucked with the markets, the player market, the player economy so much in the last 2 years, just deliberately dicking with it. Because they're petulant. We're not taking them seriously. We're not seeing CCP as relevant to our gameplay, and so they've dicked with the economy so much in the last 2 years that it's basically, what is MMOs? Living, breathing, the living part of it, the organic part of it. It's like when I'm playing Jumpgate, it gives you objectivity because there's nobody around. And so no matter what you do, it's a controlled environment. It's sterile, right? I can experiment with stuff now that I couldn't 20 years ago, and explore pricing ranges without, you know, the living, breathing activity of players, adjusting those prices, right? Making it dynamic. And without, in EVE, the living, breathing is the economy of the players. And by dicking with it so much over the last 2 years, they've killed the organic nature of, as much as they can, they tried to kill everything about the living, breathing part of Eve. As much as they can, of course. With 20,000 players online at any given time, it's pretty dynamic. Even for a very large universe, but you get my idea, right? They are actively trying to lie to the player base that they're improving and evolving the living nature of this metropolis, and it's all marketing bullshit, and playing a different game like this makes you realize that, holy crap. Now then, what can I think I can? Nope. Damn, look at that. Oh, man. I could fail the mission and just do it again, right? I could fire some believers at it. What's the damage difference? Max thrust, guidance, duration damage, 6,000 versus... Oh, hello. Max thrust, max pitch, guidance 2. Oh, that's a rocket. Right. Okay. How many can I... Size 1. How many can I fit? Just 2. Okay then. I don't think this is going to work. I'll try, but remember that it's not so simple, because it might look like it's coming directly at you, but of course it's got a vector, right? So it's going to be very, very difficult. Like in Eve, if you say shot a missile at an orbiting that, they all try to orbit you, it's going to be kind of difficult. So I'll give it a whirl, but it might not work. Guns, I can't refit on the fly. There might be a friendly station I can dock at to refit, but then if I did so, I would have less cargo. But it might be worth a shot. Can I damage something with this? $1K. I might be able to kill it actually with the mining laser. That's worth a shot. We'll try it. Alright, off we go. Unfortunately, no drones at all, ever.
Defense systems. Please stand by.
Alright. So yeah, it's interesting about the living, breathing nature of this game. That it's not there because it's a player, it's a very sterile environment. It might be fun and organic in the flying of it, but as far as the trading and stuff, it's very sterile, unfortunately. But at the same time, it's great for me because I can finally test stuff that I always wanted to in Jumpgate, which is exciting, actually. And the nice thing about explorers like me, I attract achievers. And then socializers come because there's more people here, and then the killers come, of course, because there's targets. And unfortunately, this game's developers attracted way too many killers. But they're not here anymore, so they wouldn't be able to actually destroy anything by their presence. Alright, so let's see now. Let's try the... So I've got Square of Quantus, so I'll aim at that, and the closest pillar, rotate till it's to the east, and I think I had the radar looking like that, and then you would just go downwards to the Milky Way, and then those two asteroids, or should I say the radar, that would look exactly that way, right? Not that way, not that way, but that way. And then you would aim towards that yellow triangle right there. And right there. Right there. And then you would just go forward. And you would select the jump gate you were from, and you go 34,000 distance. I'm assuming kilometers. 34 kilometers. 34,000 kilometers. And there were no planets in view ever. I don't believe. Be interesting if there was, but I don't believe so. I don't think there were any planets. So that was the nice thing about EVE Online, that not only did you have planets, but that you had AUs, and that you were traveling across the solar system, and it felt really cool that way. I'm holding down the tab for Afterburner. Yeah, actually, it is working, isn't it? I am going to maximum. Yeah, that's something new I learned. Lol. Oh my god, noob. There it is. Whoa. Yeah, it's an integer, so you can't do, but as you can see, the integer worked just bloody good enough, doesn't it? And I get very masterful at turning at the right time, and then voila. Yeah, the question is, now I've got, how much cargo do I have? 0. So the question is, if I go slowly enough and orbit the asteroid at a certain angle, I should be able to control, like that I'm only basically mining the middle, say, of this flat thing. So I'll go this way, aim here, and then I'll use the video to have 3 different control of just sitting there and mining without moving at all. A1 where I'm doing this, right, of course, right now. And one where I'm just sitting still, but moving as quickly as I can, mining all the sides of the polygon, all the faces, the entire surface of the polygon I can see at that point without moving at all. And those will be the 3 tests to see, you know, whether I was right or not about, wow, it went blue really quickly. Can you see that? I'll have to chill out and do this in the future. But yeah, am I turning it blue by just simply turning on... Is it turning blue? Can I turn it blue by just mining it? Or do I need to remove... Is the act of mining turning it blue? I don't believe so, but yeah, let's check it out. I hope not. That would kind of suck. That'd be a interesting way to grief things, right? But yeah, those are the 3 tests I'll do. Might as well do this asteroid. But I'll have to wait though. I'll mine something else. If it's the bluer it gets, the slower it is for you to actually mine it. And of course, if this works, then I'll have to wait even longer for it to refresh, right? So that's that. It's interesting because I'll be able to test this now, because it's a... Who else is going to mine this asteroid exactly, right? So I'll be able to test this in a sterile environment, a non-living environment. Yeah, it's interesting the clarity it gives you on the bullshit that CCP is mastering, because they've just fallen into the trap of believing their own lies, you know? Just ridiculous. I don't think it's changing. I don't think it's changing color. It might be, but I'm just gonna chill for a bit and focus on the Jumpgate website. So there's rad medium in a row. Is there an omni quantar hook? Quantar crossing, omni 4 and omni 5. So omni 4, rad small, rad medium. Those two are kind of close together, actually. Well, not really. We'll see. Omni 5 has a rad, but it's a question mark. Well, that's interesting. And what's custom big? That's interesting. It could be a curiosity, maybe. Rad medium, okay. Custom big, and or it's like, what the hell? It could be just, I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe they're going off my data? I don't know. Weird. Alright. Let's see, and quantar crossing. Quantus crossing, sorry. Quantus crossing is rad medium. Alright. What the Quantum Core has rad? Quantum Core has asteroids that are... Sorry, just for it. Did I ever explore Quantum Core for rare stuff? I don't think I did. That's hilarious. I just assumed it. Did I explore Quantum Core at all? I don't think I did. That's hilarious. But rad small. Ice medium, man, that's kind of cool. Rad unknown. Weird. That's amazing. Oh, okay. Square of contrast. Quantar gate. Cloud. Two big ice, cool. That a rad medium, alright. It's a rad big at outer third, but outer third's like, isn't it a dangerous area? So outer cloud, no. The dark trail. rad big. There's a rad big at Path of Hordes, just 2 jumps out of Quantum Core. There's 2 rad bigs actually. Let's see. Eco Stop. Let's check Eco Stop. It's a rad big at Path of Hordes. Dark Trail. Dark Trail is just 2 rad mediums. Alright, okay. Path of Horde so far is looking great. Eco Stop. Eco Stop, Eco Stop. No real rads of, no, rad medium. 1. Dark Trail, Corridor. Did I always assume that the station systems didn't have unique roids in them? No. I might have. That'd be a funny assumption. Rad big, so rad big and corridor. That's kind of cool. So rad big and corridor. Obviously would have been blue all the time. Hook of row. Let's try it. The square of row. Square of Quantos. Did I already check that? I don't think so. Square of Quantos. Rad medium. Rad big. So you get a rad big, square Quantos. Rad big, Path of Hordes. Eco Stop does not have a big one. And I have to go all the way to Corridor to get a big one as well. So yeah, square Quantos probably. Depends how far you'd have to travel, right? In kilometers for each gate and to the asteroid itself. So that would be an interesting one to check out. How quickly you could get at both, but I'm sure once you've turned one blue, you just go to the other one, right? So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, this website's kind of cool. All right, it's I found it. I'll link it in the description actually to make things simpler. But it's the blommaskog.net /Jumpgate. So, is it? I don't think it's changed color, really. It might have. But I've been mining it for a while, so it would have been deep blue by now. No, it's not. Okay, it's just, yeah, totally right. It is just how much cargo you've taken out. That's good. It'll prevent griefing. But yeah, why would you want to do that, right? And the protocol is going to be remembered, so yeah, cool. Yeah, the protocol was super easy because it just became a waypoint and you wouldn't really think about what the starscape looked like. But it is sure fun to do the starscapes. But yeah, totally protocol. Why wouldn't you, right? Yeah, my system was obsolete the second they coded that, and I think they were just doing that to be cruel. They could have done it originally, and they didn't. And I think they just did it the instant my starscapes became popular. Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of developers who spitefully looked at their game that way because the griefers would be the ones who over the top would kiss their ass, and naturally you get in a situation where you start to agree with those kind of people. Naturally, you can't help not, right, be manipulated by that kind of, if you're into being flattered, and they totally were, because they've got a lot of complaints, feedback, and some of it negative and some of it worded strongly, and I certainly used a lot of ad hominems to emphasize things. Just to emphasize my point. Good argument, add ad hominems. It's forceful. And you're allowed to. I mean, if you're passionate about the game, or at least passionate about immersion and exploring, why wouldn't you? Of course, people just say, well, as soon as you use ad hom, your argument's destroyed. And it's like, where do you make that up? Yourself? You know, what are you, Tyrion? Tyrion with the bad writers, not the good ones. And that was the thing that I didn't like about custom stations. You couldn't ignore them in the waypoints when you were selecting through, but it's a small price to pay. I could probably just have aimed for the docking right away without... I just naturally want to go for the most correct approach instead of going, this will work. And you'll eventually get your aim true because you're just... It would not be good if I kept going at that speed. Alright, 200. Yeah, let's see. Would not be good if it exploded right at the gate. I mean, stop trying to knock. That'd be kind of bad. Ah! Like that.
Docking procedure initiated.
Player go boom. Well, that's not the first time, was it? And let's complete this mission. So, this is how much you would mine and get out of the roid when percentages. So it's also a nice thing to mine with the same cargo hold. And of course, the cargo hold will just double if I get the breeze or whatever. So I'd need to take account of that. But yeah, that's the percentage. I think it's a fixed. That I don't think there's each asteroid type has a different percentage you'll get, but I think it's not. I don't think there's a difference in percentage, no matter what the state of the roid or the size of the roid or which system or which spot the roid is at. I think, you know, make it simple, right? You can always confirm mine another asteroid in, or, you know, a larger one, whatever. And I wonder, I need to sell 1 unit. Can I complete 2? I think you can. What you can do is probably... Like, how many can I put? I can put in storage. Let's try that. What the? Why can... Maybe I'm not allowed to move ore into storage. Is it only equipment? What do you think? Those 2 solar rains might actually be in another channel. So they might not have even heard me. Or they might know who they are. A lot of people didn't like Muffy. Alright. Let's try... What the... Oh, interesting. You're not allowed to finagle it. And you can't put it in storage. Interesting.
Transaction complete.
Calypso, Rapier, Stinger. Shields, Protector, Resistor. I think the Resistor's Quantar. Radars, Chimes, Entry. The hall monitor is just perfect. A lot of them didn't have the exact 10,000, 20,000 kilometer range. So this was the best one, of course. Was the knocker good as well? No, see? This one had the best because of the 20,000. You could get exactly ranges like 10,000 and 20,000. It was perfect for doing the star charts. But yeah, when we got the protocol, who cares, right? All right. Just old habits, right? Common, and I could probably do a common mission right now. Early after release, mining missions in Eve, you could complete a bunch of missions actually by mining normal roids. It would just ask for normal asteroid ore, and you could sit at a station to do like I was a noob back then, so I could only complete so much, but you could sit there and just spam those mining agents. It's pretty funny, and they wouldn't get tired of you, so you could pick a single agent and just get ridiculous standings out of them. It was pretty funny. it was a fun little exploit, but they closed that pretty quickly.
Transaction complete.
Did I? Okay, good. But alright, so definitely.
Transaction complete.
You can mine rads until I get that. Might as well. But the thing is that the level 2 would often just not give you the same. Okay, it asks for radioactives again. That's cool. And the other one is precious. Okay, so I'll go for radioactive, and I will go and mine.
Charging weapons and defense systems. Please stand by.
Oh, crash a desktop. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll play this another time. Yeah, there goes pop. Yeah, I'll cut the video now. Hope you enjoyed that. It'll be interesting to do those experiments. I'll mine the same asteroid later, and of course publish it later, just in case somebody wants to grief me. I know, paranoia, but whatever. Yeah, interesting little test on the mining rate.